Welcome back to the podcast for founders by founders. This is the Uncommonality Podcast.
And today we have Adam Anderson, the founder of ThreatCaptain. If he looks familiar, it's because he had a very good ice plunge with us the other day.
Yep.
And we're very grateful for the experience that you provided for everybody, Adam. So real great guy, very charismatic, with a great business and a great mind. So thank you for joining us today.
With compliments like that, I'll show up every day. It's fantastic. Yes,
We love it.
keep going.
Yeah, you get used to this.
Uh-huh.
So Adam, give us, our audience, a little bit of background as to who you are and what is ThreatCaptain.
Yes, so I am a 4-time cybersecurity founder. This is my 4th company doing the thing, and I needed to create a problem that I needed to create a solution to a problem that I was having with these others. Mainly, it's really hard to sell cybersecurity, so I created a sales enablement platform that helps cybersecurity salespeople actually close business rather than just scare the crap out of people. So by flipping the script from fear-based selling to, hey, let's talk about the business impact rather than the, cyber impact, able to have better conversations.
That's amazing.
That's great.
So is it like a marketplace? Is it a CRM? Is it a SaaS platform? Is it a mix of a few different things? Like, how does it work?
So it's B2B SaaS. Our target market are managed service providers. And what they really need is to answer 3 questions. First question that their customers ask is, how bad can a cyber breach be? Second is, will insurance cover it? And then finally, they say, how should I spend my money to make me safe? So ThreatCaptain answers all 3 of those. So we run a Monte Carlo simulation, which is a fancy pants math, right? On top of industry data like IBM's cost of a data breach report, Verizon, MITRE ATT&CK framework. And we are able to then simulate what the most likely breach outcome will be for a customer. So the MSP rolls in and says, hey, your first question is how bad can it be? Well, companies like yours in your geographic area have been getting hit by this kind of attack. So they can put an actual number on it. The next thing they do is say, would be nice if you had insurance, wouldn't it? It's not like a protection racket. That's not what I'm saying. But the number one problem with cyber insurance isn't that it's expensive. It's that they don't pay when you need it. So cyber insurance gives you a long list of you shall do these things. Most companies don't do it. So when the bad things happen,
They won't pay out.
so what the managed service provider does is they now use that as a checklist of new projects that they should do. So you just answer the question, how bad could it be? Doesn't look like insurance is going to pay. Would you like help with that? Completely different narrative and storytelling around helping with cybersecurity than, look out, bro, they're coming for you, and I'm the only one that can keep you safe. Yeah, it's almost like the old way of doing things is a little bit like fascism, and we're just trying to bring a little more capitalism into it. That's it.
Love that. With this being your 4th venture, were you always in the cybersecurity space, or how did you find yourself in this realm?
This is my 4th cybersecurity company. This is my 30th actual company. So I have I've had 30 companies where I've either been the primary investor or the startup founder of. And they have gone all over the place. So I've done kitchen knives for rock and roll stars, where I got the guy who designed the weapons for Lord of the Rings to create these weird weapons.
Wow.
I've gone working on orbital manufacturing of space whiskey to how do we age whiskey in space. And guess what? None of those cool companies make money. So my wife said, hey, maybe we look at the ones that do make money and you do those. So now I'm, until we get this next exit and I make her happy, I'm a cybersecurity entrepreneur. So yeah, no, it's fun because when you get on the sales side of things for cybersecurity, you have a bigger opportunity. And what I mean by that is my last couple companies, I was doing one thing in security and then they had to have all these other things. So even if I did my job really, really well, they could still get breached. What's beautiful about what I'm doing now is that instead of selling one security product at a time, I've created something that lets everybody sell their security products. And so by doing this, by helping salespeople get small and mid-sized businesses the security that they need, I'm kind of saving the world, guys. It's kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal. 100% a big deal.
I agree with you.
Now, the only other problem you need to solve is bank loans and small businesses.
Oh yeah, that's next Tuesday. I got you, bro. Yeah.
No,
So that one's a layup, man. That's totally good. Yeah.
Yeah, like this one seems like a layup too. It's
That's
pretty
right.
hard.
I tell you what, just personally guarantee everything. I'm sure I'll be all right.
You're figuring out some good stuff. I would love to ask just a personal question on this note. So
I'm a
you've been
Virgo.
involved in a lot of
Well,
a lot of different ventures, right?
Yes.
So there must be a lot of experience and knowledge that you can offer. So for people like our viewers, some of them want to get started, haven't been started. Some of them are stuck in early stages. Some are successful and can probably just relate to a funny story, right? What's some of the best advice that you think transcends all of these types of ventures?
When I get asked that kind of question, there's a couple of answers I get. But before I give my brilliant and very, very appropriate answer, I just like people to understand there are different phases to this entrepreneur journey.
Oh,
The stuff that's happening to you at startup versus the stuff that's happening to somebody at 10 million in revenue, those are very, very different things. It's a shared journey. And so we all are on that same path. But what these guys at 10 million, 100 million are worried about are not what we need to worry about if you're starting a company. So if you're looking to start a company, the first thing that's going to put you out of business is you don't have a grip on your financials. Meaning it's hard to start a company. Gosh, it's harder if you can't buy diapers or you can't feed your kids. So it will get to the point where your company just needs a little bit more time, but you ran out of money and you got to go back and get a job. So I always say, before you quit your job, make sure that you have cash flow coming in from your new thing. And that means that maybe you can't go as fast as you want to, or maybe you can't do the thing the way you want to, but some discipline around personal financials so that you don't put yourself in a place where you're forced to raise money if you don't want to. I think that's the first thing I tell everybody. And it's not sexy, but the guys and gals I have seen who burned out are from that kind of stress.
You're talking my language with the personal finance.
I mean, that's real.
That's just very undervalued that I think a lot of people tend to overlook.
Yeah, and you don't have to be rich. I mean, I have buddies who went to start their companies. They went to Thailand and they lived like kings on $500 a month because they did arbitrage where they could have their money go farther while they started their company. Doesn't work for everybody. If you're selling locally, it's kind of hard to do that. But if you're doing a SaaS company or a technology play, I'm all about it, especially if you have the freedom to travel, launch your company somewhere else, and then come back when you're ready.
Yeah.
I mean, it also makes a lot of sense in terms of I know I cracked a joke about loans, but having your credit in order is part of personal finance, right? So that's great advice.
Having credit in order. And I think one thing that you mentioned about the financials as well, I can't tell you how many founders I've talked to and these are clients of mine, that you ask them, okay, what does revenue look like? How much do you need to operate? And even those financials, they may not have down as well. Like for your personal finance, like even the financials for your business, you need to have that like the back of your hand on any given moment.
100%. So each one of these companies I've launched has created an emotional scar on my heart. So what we're kind of talking about is this concept called cash flow. Money comes in, money goes out. So I had this internet cafe I founded. I was spending about $13K a month on it.
Wow.
And at the end of it, I spent around $250,000. We were making almost $3,000 a month.
Impressive.
Yeah, all we had to do was scale that.
Only a negative 10.
That's
10
it.
a month.
That's right. Just slowly lighting all this money on fire. And at first, so the problem is I was throwing off so much free cash flow from another business that really wasn't hurting me. I didn't care. But retrospect, it wasn't necessarily just that I was losing money that was the problem. I wasn't creating the thing I wanted to create. So the cash flow was not just a signal of, am I getting wealthy? It's a signal, is your company healthy and is it achieving what you want it to do? So that to me was a huge emotional scar. And so going forward, I've always got my eyes on what's my time till death? How's the cash flow going? What do I need to think about? And I hate my budget meetings, but I put myself, usually I hire like a chief of staff or something who forces me to look at the numbers because I don't like to. But I know that it's the most important thing that I can keep track of inside the company because I got to pay people. They usually don't work for free.
That's true. Looking at today with Seed the South, which is why we're here, talk us through what you felt beforehand with the whole weekend, jumping into the cold tub with us. I mean, what was going through your mind this whole week?
Well, the whole reason I came up here was to hang out with folks who are, well, I have three things, my goals. My first goal is to find someone I can radically help. If I got a connection and I can help somebody, that's my first checkbox. Second is, make an actual friend, not somebody I needed something from, but somebody I was laughing with and I can follow up, and that's great. I'm sorry, neither one of you made that one. That was
that's okay, but we've laughed plenty. So
we did.
We've laughed plenty with you.
It was real close. It was a swing and a miss, but it was close. And then the final is learn something and challenge a core belief. So I like coming up here because the core belief that I was holding is it's hard to raise money. Nobody's gonna respond. Right? There's a lot of negative core beliefs around fundraising. And coming up into this environment and seeing all the people who are actually in the middle of this capital allocation business and being able to have authentic conversations with them really challenged my core beliefs around how are you raising money? How do you think about that? And sitting in the Seed the South, environment, it was a great friction point for me to take core beliefs and challenge against people who've been there, done that, right? They earned the right to have opinions that I can respect due to the things that they've done. And you don't just find that by walking around. You have to go places and be intentional. So that to me was it. Now let's talk about your little ice bath.
Yeah.
Criminal.
Dude. All right. So after it was done, I was like, I kind of like it. This is pretty good, right? But those first 60 seconds, that was a full contact sport. That was not good.
Shock to the body. Complete shock to the body.
And even worse when we're asking you questions.
Oh,
rapid
no.
fire.
When the questions came in, I was like, okay, I can focus on the question. But I'm pretty certain, like the first one, you're like, hey, who are you? And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know what my name is. Yeah. I just got to get out of here. Yeah. I was really worried that I was just going to shiver the entire time. But I got calm. And I was like, gosh, I'm good at this. I could totally do this. So yeah, I think you might have convinced me to pick this up as a part of my life now.
So it's a little taste of entrepreneurship every day. Try to calm down with all the crazy mess going on around you.
100%. A little me time, right?
Exactly.
A little biohack.
And then just to close us off here, one thing we ask all our founders: what is one uncommon belief, practice, or system that you've built over your life or through your experiences that anyone watching this can get some value out of, or that you credit a lot of your success to?
Other than the cash flow one that you already gave, which is brilliant.
Well, that's an emotional scar. The behavior. So I'm all about understanding entrepreneurial burnout. And burnout is a complicated thing. We're not going to get into all of that, but there's a lot of biochemistry involved in some of this stuff. So what I found is that whenever I start a new company or I start a new venture, I try to pick up some kind of physical activity that I can exercise my brain, but if I don't also keep my body moving, you can get out of balance. So I really believe in balancing all that out. So this time I decided to start taking Muay Thai and get punched in the face.
Nice.
And punch other people in the face. And I like a kinetic activity that gets you fully present. Like, you got to be present. You're not thinking about payroll when you're about to get someone to kick your shin, right? So my suggestion, you don't have to do Muay Thai, but I'm like, when you're doing something that is so cerebral, so spiritually draining, you cannot forget to balance that with some kind of physical activity. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot, but do whatever works for you and makes your heart sing, but get out and do it.
That's great. That's the balance of mind, body, spirit.
Mind, body, spirit. That's what we harp on all the time. It's the biggest part of the founder growth is that relationship with self and self-growth.
You get it.
But Adam, I don't think there's going to be anyone ever like you, my friend. You are absolutely amazing, and we love you.
I'm sorry, you broke up. What was that again?
I hate you, and get out of here. No, but yeah, we wish you the best of luck with your business.
Thank you.
It's a great idea, and we wish you the best. Hopefully, we can cross paths again because you are absolutely amazing, my friend.
Well, let's do this, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.